Do y'all remember several days ago when Kristi Noem was asked about ICE abducting American citizens? Excuse me, detaining American citizens, and she had this to say.
I can't hear you. There's no American citizens have been arrested or detained. We focus on those that are here illegally, and anything that you would hear or report that would be different than that is simply not true and false reporting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
I think she said that on October 30th, and I immediately pulled up this piece from ProPublica. We found that more than 170 U.S. citizens have been held by immigration agents. They've been kicked, dragged, and detained for days. That was a piece by Nicole Foy in ProPublica, published October 16th of this year. I have this long list on my phone of topics that I intend to get to, but it grows and grows because there's more things I want to talk about in a day than I have time to possibly cover. So I had not yet gotten to this story. But then just a little bit ago, I saw that Harry Litman, who I just have a big fondness for him. He has the Talking Feds YouTube channel. And he also quit the Washington Post in protest earlier this year. He was one of the first people to say, no, I'm not working for media that's in the pocket of the regime. Yeah, Harry has integrity. So he has a piece out today in the New Republic. It's entitled Confirmed, ICE is arresting American citizens and lying about it. He starts off his article by referencing the ProPublica piece that I was just talking about, where they say that more than 170 American citizens have been taken by ICE during anti-immigration operations. He continues by saying the implications of this report go considerably further, suggesting an agency completely out of control and flouting the Fourth Amendment at every turn. Wow, I think I put out 3 videos in the last week that all have ICE out of control. ICE is out of control somewhere in the title. And I completely agree with Harry. That is the most accurate description of what ICE is, of what the Department of Homeland Security is, out of control. So let's see a little bit more of what Harry has to say here. He says, ProPublica's report chronicled a series of ICE arrests that would be hard to believe if they weren't backed by official complaints and eyewitnesses. In one, masked agents pointed a gun at, pepper sprayed, and punched a young man whose only offense was filming them as they searched for his relative. In another, they tackled a 79-year-old car wash owner, pressing their knees into his neck and back. The man, who had just undergone heart surgery, was left with broken ribs and was denied medical attention for 12 hours. In a third case, agents handcuffed a woman on her way to work and held her for more than 2 days without any contact with the outside world. Right, Harry says all Americans, regardless of what they think of immigrants, should be outraged and disgusted by these actions from ICE. He said, it's clear that there are no foolproof protections for anyone, Americans included, from ICE's rabid tactics. The report documents 2 categories of concern. As ProPublica notes, about 130 of the total number of arrested were arrested for allegedly assaulting officers. Many of these are overblown.
So I was arrested on Sunday at the protest down at the ICE building. I was playing with the Unprecedented Band.
So they allege that you interfered with an arrest and kicked and bit an officer. I don't know if you can speak to that at all.
I think I've been advised not to speak about it, but I will say that I don't think I am the only one getting charges like this at these protests.
But do you
Oriana is a mother to a 3-year-old, and she is a clarinet player with the Unprecedented Brass Band in Portland. According to witnesses at the scene when she was arrested, the band was playing Ghostbusters, and then ICE started storming in. She was standing on the sidewalk. She was following instructions when ICE agents tackled her to the ground, dragging her face first into the mud while her clarinet clattered to the pavement. Right, this is a band that was just playing a song, as they are allowed to do. It is part of their right to free speech. They were not on federal property, and ICE agents tackled her to the ground. She committed no crimes, and so they have to manufacture one. They have to manufacture assault. According to Harry Litman and this reporting from ProPublica, at least 130 of the American citizens who were arrested were similar cases to Oriana, the clarinet player. So far, at least 50 of those cases where ICE alleged assault by an American citizen have been thrown out, or the charges were never filed in the first place. I believe that's what happened to Diane Figueroa. Trisha McLaughlin from DHS said that she assaulted ICE as they were dragging her out of her car after they rammed her car with their SUV as they were fucking up a U-turn. They dragged her kicking and screaming out of her car, and then they tried to claim that she assaulted ICE agents, but no charges have been filed. This all gives rise to questions about whether ICE is abusing its power to arrest law-abiding protesters, like the man who was pepper sprayed for the crime of videoing agents. It's not illegal to document what law enforcement is doing. And as Harry points out, protesters can be raucous, but raucousness is not a crime. One of the things that Harry points out here is that when ICE is assaulting people, like they are in these instances, detaining people, they don't tend to ask or ascertain the nationality of the people that they are tackling to the ground and dragging off. Most of the people that ICE is treating like this are not American citizens, so we need to understand this is ICE's general MO. This is how they operate, violating people's rights, brutalizing their bodies, and attempting to upcharge with resisting arrest and assault. So Harry, who is a respected attorney, goes on to explain the Fourth Amendment violations that are occurring here. Number one, if and only if agents have particularized suspicion that a person may be guilty of a crime, can they stop that person and pose a brief series of questions to dispel or confirm their suspicions. This is the basic dividing line that Border Czar Tom Homan and others in the administration say that agents are following in nearly every case. Okay. Number two, if and only if agents have developed probable cause that a person is guilty of a crime, can they arrest them and restrain their physical movements. That includes, of course, Americans or anyone else who assaults law enforcement, right? So in order to restrain you, they have to claim like, oh, they're assaulting us. But these physical interactions only happen because ICE is tackling people to the ground or dragging them out of cars. ICE is initiating the conduct. There's sworn testimony from Portland police in court that ICE is the one who is inciting. ICE is the one who is instigating. ICE is the one who is initiating. Number three, at all times, including during arrests, agents may not employ force that is unreasonable under the circumstances. These three guideposts mark the difference between a democracy and a police state, and yet, in case after case after case, ICE agents are blowing through all three of these guardrails. We see similar arrests and unreasonable force everywhere ICE has operated. The abuses in the ProPublica report are only a small subset. It's been a core reason that a series of courts from Chicago to Portland to LA have come down hard on the agency. Judge Sarah Ellis in Chicago found that ICE agents repeatedly violated reporters' and activists' Fourth Amendment rights. Harry then laments the fact that it is the Supreme Court who fails to uphold the law. Lower courts overwhelmingly are siding with the Constitution, siding with the Fourth Amendment. Brett Kavanaugh parroted Kristi Noem's DHS talking point. He said if officers learn that the individual they stopped is a U.S. citizen or otherwise lawfully in the United States, they promptly let that individual go. But that's not true. That's not true, Brett Kavanaugh. In fact, every week brings new videos of federal agents ignoring, detaining, tackling, and pepper spraying their prey, deploying force in situations where even local police, bound by far stricter accountability, would hesitate to make an arrest. The pattern suggests not isolated mistakes, but a systemic culture of impunity and contempt for constitutional safeguards. Watching Gregory Bavino, the head agent in charge of ICE's Chicago operation, strut contemptuously into Judge Ellis's courtroom like Colonel Jessup in A Few Good Men left little confidence that senior ICE officials are instilling in their agents any ethos of constitutional compliance. It's tempting to see these cases as tragic anomalies, but they are not. They are the predictable consequence of a political project that conflates law enforcement with warfare and citizens with subjects. As my mayor said, Portland is an American city, not a military target. Each time a citizen is wrongly detained or beaten by federal agents, the injury extends beyond the individual. It erodes the shared understanding that government power must answer to the Constitution. What the ProPublica investigation reveals is not simply a rogue agency, but a government willing to tolerate and at times encourage lawlessness in its name. The same authoritarian reflex that animates the president's contempt for judges and journalists is now operating in street-level enforcement, where ordinary Americans are discovering that their citizenship is no longer a shield against violence. Thank you, Harry, for this piece. Thank you for speaking truth about what's happening. So what are we all going to do about it?